Giving advice is an essential part of being a leader, and doing so with empathy can be difficult in a second language. In today's video, we will be discussing the proper phrases and vocabulary to use when you are giving advice in a business environment. Welcome to English Vocabulary and Phrases for Business English. I'm Dr. Dan Neundorf, Lead Mentor and Trainer at Global Leaders Resources Group. As a leader, you will be giving advice to your peers and teammates on a regular basis, so it is important to learn the nuances of how to respectfully give suggestions in English. It's best to come across as humble and not forceful in these communications. To show this kind of respect, we can use modal verbs such as should or ought to. For example, you should try making the design more eye-catching, or you ought to rethink the intro of that article. Notice that after should, you do not have to use the infinitive of the next verb. Listen carefully for the pronunciation. Should. Neither the O nor the L is pronounced, as in, we should compare these results to last month. The word ought is always followed by an infinitive and is pronounced ought with a wide O sound in the middle of the mouth. Ought. It should feel round when you make the vowel sound, as in, we ought to ask the director what he thinks about this one. Often in spoken English, the two words ought to run together and sound more like oughta. Listen to this more natural pronunciation. He ought to ask the team before submitting that proposal for approval. Here is a sample dialogue demonstrating the use of these modal verbs when giving advice. Speaker 1. What do you think of this graphic design for the article? Speaker 2. You should try a lighter color for the background, I think. Speaker 1. I'm not sure I can do that with the branding guidelines. Do you know where they're stored? Speaker 2. You ought to be able to find the guidelines in our cloud drive. You can check them again. In conclusion, using modal verbs such as should and ought to are very useful when giving advice to sound more respectful and empathetic. These traits are important to express yourself well as a leader. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to click the subscribe button below and turn on the bell to receive notifications of new videos from Global Leaders Resources Group. Please visit my website at www.glrg.org to register for courses to accelerate your career as a global leader.